Great to be with you all as always. Before we get into the sermon, I want to point your attention to something that we were able to put in your hands today as you walked in. You've heard me talk about it for the last couple of weeks. We want to finish the year well, and so we've got what we've termed our Thrive 2020 initiative or campaign, however you want to describe it. But the desire is this. It is to take the gospel into places and parts that we haven't done yet, or we haven't done as much of as we wanted to yet. And so I want to outline some of the things that we've got listed up there. You know, the first thing has to do with our own growth here at the church. By the grace of God, He continues to expand our borders, and we are super thankful for this facility. And that's not to say, though, at the same time, this facility does have its limitations. Again, as I mentioned last week, we are limited Monday through Friday with the number of parking spots we have here, so that actually limits what we're able to do during the week. And then additionally, we have a shared space with an upstairs tenant, and we want to be good neighbors to them. So that also puts a little bit of a lid on what we want to do. We have put together a search committee, sort of a church home, what's next for us search committee. And bottom line is this: we want to be ready to act when God moves, when He leads. Now, here's what we've discovered. Kind of a funny thing. Turns out that banks aren't super interested in lending churches money. Who knew, right? I had a phone call, literally. The banker told me there are two kinds of people we just don't like to see come through our doors: farmers and pastors. They especially have difficulty lending to churches that are young. So us not being 4 years old yet, by the grace of God and through your generosity and faithfulness, I'm super encouraged and excited to say that in our future building fund, we have $1.75 million. And what we would like to do is bring that, praise God. What we would like to do is bring that fund up to $2 million by the end of the year, and what that does is it enables us to come to the table kind of like big boys, you know, sitting across from them and saying, no, we're here, and we're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. You know, we're here to be a gift to you and to our Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the uttermost parts of the world. And speaking of that, we have local and global initiatives also. So it might surprise you to know that Arizona ranks 46 in the nation for the overall well-being of children. We have been declared a foster crisis state, and so we are partnering with our friends at Arizona Faith and Families, and we will be supporting them, helping them provide education and other means to allay the crisis that is in our state. If Christians can't step into this space, then what are we doing, essentially? Additionally, it might surprise you to know that Arizona has the second highest death rate by drug overdose in the nation, folks. Second highest in the nation, right here where we live. And again, this is a space that we, the church, we want to step into and we want to address. We've made great partnerships, and we love these guys so much, the guys from Teen Challenge, and we love having them around. They've been a blessing to us, and you meet some of them even out there when you're eating pretzels today after the service. Just good men. They are wanting it's a transition house. So we want to help them make that investment along with a bus that will get them back and forth from church and allow them to do ministry outside of their walls as well. And then also we want to reach into Sunny Slope area. I love the title of it, Hope for the Slope. It may surprise you to know that area is just about the most impoverished area in our city now, and one of the most crime-ridden as well. And it's also a place that the church has really yet to step into, in my opinion, in a significant way. And so we want to put together what I'm referring to as sort of a mobile church for the homeless that also provides food and basic necessities and things like that. And then on the global side, we want to step into those hard-to-reach places. You say, like what? Well, like the West Bank. You know, those places that are really dark. There hasn't been peace in the Middle East since ever, right? And so less than 1% of the population is Christian, and yet there is a Palestinian Bible Society. I've been there. I've met with them. These people are amazing, man. They're giving their lives. This is frontline stuff in a very, very difficult environment. We want to resource them to carry the gospel into these areas, into this population. And then also into Cuba. As I mentioned last week, Cuba is beginning to open up some really interesting ways. And it's our desire to plant 10 churches in Havana, as well as host some citywide outreaches. And we're partnering with Los Pinos Nuevos to do that as well. In Cuba, less than 10% of the population is considered Christian. So here's what I'd like for you to do. Just take this, prayerfully consider how God might lead you to participate in this with us. Beginning today, on through the rest of the year. Any funds that come in that are above our weekly operating costs will go directly to meeting these needs. And at the same time, let me say thank you for your continued faithfulness and your generosity. You know, on December 8th, we're going to host this really fun open house. And a year ago at this time, we came before you and said, hey, look, we want to be prepared when God moves. And you guys stepped up. Space became available in the building. We took over the bottom floor. And so we want you guys to see the fruit of your generosity. On December 8th, we want to have a grand opening for that space. Through your faithfulness, you've allowed us to expand, have more space so that children's ministry and youth ministry has been able to grow. So thank you for that. So take this prayerfully consider. We have a special drop down online that specifically says Thrive 2020, and you can designate your gift there.